Hello, hello, hello. With the release of this previous update, we have some pretty interesting grind spots over in Kama Silva, and one of the first places that I went to was Fadus. I say one, but this was the first place I went to because I've always wanted Fadus to be really good. I've always talked about it being like a forgotten grind spot that nobody has been to in years. And I don't want to hype it up and be like, oh, yo, Fadus is now one of the absolute best grind spots in the game, but it is actually very grindable. And if you want like a chill, nice, easy peasy, like 200 some mil an hour, Fadus is actually totally viable. So even though it's not the best, it is still grindable. And if you're just trying to roll up, cool. If not, it's also cool. We'll be looking at other spots later on, but let's get into the trash loot. So mind you, I was on my seasonal mystic, so my inventory space was not super poggies because my Draconia has like all the fucking weight that I got from seasonals. But yeah, I do want to mention that I got a lot more spirit stones than what you're seeing. I got easily like I think 25 to 30 fucking spirit stones. So don't take this as like the actual like spirit stone count, because I had to keep ferrying them out of my inventory to my goddamn CM because it was just, I was getting so many. But aside from that, we got a piece of Lemuria, which is mediocre. I mean, it's Lemuria, it's not going to sell for really much at all, and even if you enhance it, it's not going to sell for much, so it's not really that worth it. But it's like 900k to a mil, so you can factor that in if you so much choose to do. We also got a pretty good amount of time-filled blackstones and Tuvala ore, which was pretty cool. I will say I have to sacrifice 150 of those time-filled blackstones because there is a like little 150 kill quest over there, so if you complete that, you'll get 120 or 150, I can't remember. So I do have to sacrifice like 120 out of that, so it's more like 200 something time-filled blackstones, which is still totally good. So if you're looking for some time-filled blackstones on seasonal, Fadus can definitely still give you some like decent amount per hour. Outside of that, we also got Trace of Battle, I think is what that is. I don't actually remember, but it's a trace of something, which it's only 28, which is nothing too crazy. But the fact of the matter is, you also get the boxes there, which give you weapons, which, I'm sure you can figure out what to do with those, because if you don't know, then you don't know. But if you do know, then you know. And then 20 Caphras, which is actually insane. That's genuinely insane for Fadus. I didn't expect to get 20 Caphras there, which, it doesn't sound like a lot compared to some other places. But, we're talking like a spot that's been out of reference for a super long while. It's been not relevant forever. And it drops 20 Caphras, which is really good money, because if we do 20 times 3 million, obviously it's going to get taxed, but that's not the point. That's 60 million. That's an extra 60 million silver on top of what you're making from the trash loot. And which brings me to the next point, which is the trash loot. I made 16.7k. Now I have to do a little bit of a disclaimer because I didn't know how to properly run Fadus. So for the first like 20 minutes, I was kind of running around the whole area trying to find a rotation. So for the first 20 minutes, the trash pull was not that good. It was really bad. So I'm fairly certain I could push 20k trash. Like I'm 100% positive I could push 20k trash. But until I do, we'll just pretend that like 16.7 is the average, which translates to about 167 mil. Which is really good. It's really good. The trash loot sells for 9.6, I believe. It's like 9.657 or some shit. And then we times that by 16.7, and that gives us 160.3 mil, which is really fucking good. Really good. That's solid. I never thought I'd see the day where that is going to be something that is even remotely close to what other grind spots would be. So we take that, and then we add the 60 mil from the Caphras, and we're looking at 220 million silver for Fadus. 220 million silver an hour. And mind you, like I said, if I can pull 20k trash, that's going to be 200 mil right there. So if we would ultimately be at 260 million silver per hour, which is, again, super fucking good. Oh, I didn't even notice this. The Forest Fury, I forgot that Forest Furies are dropping here as well. So if you're, trying to do some sort of like enhancing with the crystals and whatnot, trying to make higher tier crystals, you can also add this to, money per hour if you're looking to do something like that. But overall, this is insane. I mean, if you can pull at least like anywhere between 18 to 20k trash, you know, 240, 260 mil an hour. That's wild between Caphras as well as the trash loot. And I forgot to mention that we also get the armor stone bundles, which can, you know, translate to a couple more mil in that, but it's nothing significant, but it's still relatively good to mention that those do drop there. And to top it off, we only got 15 ancient spirit dust, which is a little disappointing considering that it's supposed to be probably higher given the fact that it's Camasilva, but who cares? So overall, you're looking at anywhere between like 180 to 260 mil per hour, depending on, you know, the drops of the Caphras. Realistically, the only thing that you're going to be relying on money here for is the Caphra drops as well as the trash loot. And the trash loot is highly dependent on what class you play as well as the rotation that you do. It is worth mentioning that you can definitely overclear Fadus. Even the rotation that I did find that was available, it was still very hard to not overclear, but thank God I was on my Mystic and my like pack to pack was not that great. It was still good enough to get the job done, but had I been playing my Succession Zerker, I probably would have been standing around waiting for mobs more than I'd like to. So definitely, if you're super geared or playing a speed class or something like that, this can result in super overclearage 100%. And you'll have to do like extended rotos and all sorts of other garbage just to kind of like make up for the, you know, timers that it takes for them to respawn. But yeah, that pretty much concludes today's video. I will be heading to hopefully Polly's next, and I can maybe get a decent hour without getting absolutely interrupted by whoever the fuck is there. But yeah, that's it for today's video. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.